Sure, it does sound surreal, but does it really? So Mortal Kombat 11 is right around the corner, and despite the fact that we know more or less the base roster for the game, it's only a matter of time before we do get to see all of the DLC characters, and you know as well as I, in that there are of course going to be some guest characters, as it is pretty much inevitable with every NetherRealm fighting game. And if there's one thing that NetherRealm Studios does remarkably well, is that they constantly surprise us with all of their guest characters. And in the case of Mortal Kombat 11, I do feel like there could be a few guest characters that could blow everyone's minds. Case in point, I honestly do think that Deadpool could very well be one of, if not the biggest surprise coming from MK11, which at first glance it does seem pretty unlikely given the fact that MK11 is made by Warner Bros. Studios and that they mostly rely on DC characters, and for licensing Marvel characters is near impossible. But if you really read into the lines, I do feel like there's some truth behind this, or at the very least they are trying to allude to something. Now this first came about during this leak about a month ago, which is supposedly Deadpool in MK11, and again, take this one with a huge grain of salt, but apparently this came from the same guy who did leak the full roster, although I personally couldn't find anything that could actually back up that claim. But apparently as soon as that image was released online about a month ago, NetherRealm Studios went out of their way into getting rid of that screenshot. Now again, make of that what you will, but this isn't the only evidence I have. Because just recently, during one of Game Informer's interviews with Ed Boon, he did flat out admit that NetherRealm Studios did discuss with Marvel on a potential idea of potentially doing a fighting game featuring Marvel characters, or at the very least include a Marvel character or two in the near future. Although he was being completely cagey on what the actual negotiations were, or how the conversation went between the two parties. And you would think that if nothing is going to happen between NetherRealm Studios and Marvel, then Ed Boon would flat out admit that nothing is going to happen. And yet we have Ed Boon being very hush hush in terms of that subject. And since that interview, many people have jumped into the conclusion in that we are in fact going to have some form of Marvel fighting game from NetherRealm Studios in the near future, if not maybe even a Marvel vs DC crossover fighting game. And while I think both of these ideas are plausible, I don't think this is exactly what's going to happen right away. But instead, I feel like they're trying to test the waters on a potential crossover by implementing the Marvel character into MK11. And realistically, if NetherRealm Studios are going to decide on which character should be in MK11, then the obvious choice would be Deadpool. He is one of the most popular Marvel characters at the moment, as well as being among one of the most highly requested guest characters for DLC. And naturally, Deadpool would be the perfect choice because he kinda blends in with the MK world. Now is this theory a bit out there? Of course, but at the same time, after the recent developments, all bets are off. So do you think there is a good chance that we will get to see Deadpool as a guest character for Mortal Kombat 11? And would you personally want to see that character be playable in the game? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.